36mm Christopher Ward 12, Seiko SKX013, Citizen Tsukiomi AT, and maybe the Cartier Tank Solar Beat. We'll talk about it. And most importantly, a 5.8-inch wrist. That's about 147 millimeters. My wife has watches. Surprised that I have a wife? And as far as I know, she likes me in spite of these videos and not because of them, not like the rest of you jackals. For better or worse, her wrist has been affected by my affectation. You can't live with a watch collector and not be inspired or coerced into at least trying on a few watches. Actually, my special lady likes going to watch stores with me. Who doesn't like playing dress up? But she doesn't always like the watches we try on, and she almost never understands why someone would spend the amount that people spend on watches. And that makes her better than me, and possibly better than you. I don't think she'd ever buy a watch. I don't think she cares enough. But here's one weird trick that wives don't want you to know. If you just give them watches, they'll probably wear them. And that's what I've done. That's why my wife owns anything beyond an Apple Watch. I just gave her some watches, and she actually seems to like wearing them most days. So when people say I'm an influencer, yeah, I guess I'm kind of a big deal in my own house. The Seiko SKX013 was the first mechanical watch my wife ever owned, and owned should be in air quotes, because I have no memory of formally gifting this to her. What I remember is that it was my watch. I bought it for me for about $200. I wore it. I made a video about it. I let my wife borrow it, and now I see where things went wrong for me. It's 37 millimeters across, 13 millimeters thick, 45 millimeters long, and has 20 millimeter lugs. Dr. and Mrs. Terrific started wearing this a lot on a strap from Barton Bands. The 37 millimeter size is one of the reasons it's such a big hit with her. It's an awesome size, and that's why I bought it for me and why I like it so much. And I still like it, but I guess it's no longer mine. Another reason she likes it is because it has a French day wheel option. In this specific version of the SKX013, you can display the day of the week in either English or French, and she likes that. It's so exotic. Seiko no longer makes the SKX13. They stopped a few years ago, but like with the SKX007, Seiko has kinda sorta replaced a bunch of the SKX watches with Seiko 5 watches. They did it with the 37mm SKX013. The SRPK29 is similar. It's a millimeter wider at 38 millimeters, but it's also a millimeter thinner at 12 millimeters. It's okay. I really miss the orange text from the SKX watches, but not even enough to steal this watch back from her. The Citizen Tsukiomi AT is an unusual part of my watch's wife collection. No, my wife's watch collection. I didn't really think she was going to wear it. She didn't pick it out. I didn't even pick it out. In 2023, Citizen just sent me this as a gift without warning. So this happens every once in a while that a watch brand will try to gift me a watch, and every time they ask if they can give me a watch, I tell them no. I don't want to take gifts from brands. It feels gross and unprofessional to me, which is silly because I'm not a professional watch person, video maker man, but I just kind of don't want my opinions influenced like that. But Citizen didn't ask if they could send it to me, they just sent it. And when I told my wife that I was going to return it to Citizen, she wisely suggested that I give it to her. Ain't she clever? A 43mm watch on a 5.75-inch wrist. It's big, but I think it kind of works. And no, this is not the original strap. This is a weird combo. A steel mesh strap on a titanium watch. But she likes it, and it seems like everyone who sees it on her also likes it. This strap, like every steel mesh strap I own, can be found on Amazon, or Temu, or Ali, or eBay, or Kijiji, if that's a thing. Just about anywhere for about $20, and they're all basically the same, and they're all fine. None of them are good, but they're fine. I did a full video on the Tsukiomi AT watch, and there's a link in this video's description. And I like the watch, and I like it even more now that I see it nearly every day, and here's why. It's photovoltaic, it's powered by light, and it can hold a charge for up to 6 months, no battery changes, no winding. It also automatically sets the time. It syncs every night with a radio signal that's broadcasted from an atomic clock. Since I live in North America, that clock for me is in Colorado. There are clocks and signals like this across most of the world. And not only does it sync the time, but it also syncs the moon phase too. It's the first watch ever to have a radio syncing moon phase complication. That way my wife knows when it's the full moon and she should avoid me. Or when it's the new moon and she should avoid me. Or waxing and waning, she just should avoid me. It's a big watch, even on me, and I think my wife pulls it off well because of her whole vibe. For her, it's not the size, it's the confidence. In my case, it's the inverse. I find it weird that companies market some timepieces as men's watches or women's watches. That's kind of really dumb. Sometimes it's based on size, sometimes it's based on style or color or material, and it's just silly. I've seen petite feminine women wear large mechanical dive watches and somehow, just somehow, they remain feminine women. Amazing. I've also seen large masculine men wear small iced out dress watches, and somehow, against all odds, they remain masculine men. If you think a small watch on a man makes them seem weak somehow, maybe you're the weak one. The 36mm Christopher Ward 12 is a kind of a good example of that. I've seen men wear this size well. Shoot, I've worn it on my 7-inch wrist and I think it could look great on a dude. Not on me, but on a respectable man. I bought this for my wife for her birthday almost 2 years ago. This is one that she wears most often, and this is how she wears it most often, on this black rubber strap. The 12 comes with a really good looking bracelet, but my lady friend prefers the strap because it's the most comfortable option. This watch was not a surprise gift to her. My wife has some very picky taste, the one weird exception being her choice in spouse. But for her to wear a new watch, it had to be not too small and not too large. It had to be metal. It could not have diamonds or pearls or mother of pearl or all those things that are on women's watches. It had to have good water resistance. It had to be mechanical, and on top of that, it had to have a display back, and it had to have both bracelet and strap options. It also couldn't be too expensive because she wouldn't feel comfortable wearing it. And the 36mm Christopher Ward 12 meets all those requirements. And lately, my wife has been wearing my Cartier Tank Solar Beat. This is the large size. Once again, even though I said this already in the video, my mesh straps are cheap $20 straps that you can get from dozens of websites. The only thing you need to know is that for this size tank, it's a 19mm strap. I'm intentionally and specifically not saying that this is my wife's watch, even though she wears it more than I do. This is still mine. It's mine because I really like it. Yes, it looks better on her, and yes, she wears it more often than I do, but this is one thing I will not surrender easily. See, if there's one thing I've learned in more than a decade of wedded life, it's that marriage is full of compromises, and the Cartier Tank is one that she is going to have to compromise on.